Hi everyone, I am B. Ramakant Gaud, Assistant Professor of Physics, Government Degree College for Sciences, Hyderabad. I am going to teach to final year students about AC circuits. The study of AC currents is of special importance because most of the electric power generated and used in the world all over is in the form of alternating EMF and alternating current only. In this video lesson, I am going to cover the following topics: alternating currents, alternating voltage, alternating current through a pure resistor, alternating current through pure inductor, alternating current through a pure capacitor, and power in AC circuits. We shall develop the subject of passage of AC through individual components. Then we shall pass on to the complicated circuits. Now, first of all, understand what is alternating current and alternating voltage. Alternating EMF is mathematically represented as E is equal to E naught sin omega t, and alternating current is represented as mathematically I is equal to I naught sin omega t, where E and I are the instantaneous values of alternating EMF and alternating currents respectively, where E naught is the maximum value of alternating voltage, that is a peak value of the curve shown in the graph, and I naught is the maximum value of alternating current. Omega is the angular frequency, that is equal to 2 pi f. F is the frequency, and f is equal to 1 by t, where t is the time period. The relation between frequency and time period is f is equal to 1 by t. Most importantly, phase angle is omega t. The term omega t is the phase angle, and any phase difference between two values of this term is called phase difference. Physically, phase difference is an interval of time, not an angle. The relation theta is equal to omega t serves to connect the time and the angle factors. Now we can represent alternating EMF and alternating current by the functions of either sine or cos. Now both representations are shown in the figure. Now you see that this is a graphical representation of the E. As you see that as time increases, the value of the alternating current increases and reaches the maximum value, and then gradually decreases and gets the zero value, and then increases in the negative direction and reaches the maximum value, and then the maximum, then from maximum value its value decreases in the negative direction and reaches the zero value, and then again increasing of the alternating function in the positive direction. So here the wave function is repeating after time interval of t. So in this way, this current or EMF which periodically reverses its direction. So alternating current is one, or alternating current is an electric current which periodically reverses its direction. Okay. From the graph, the peak values represents the maximum value of alternating current or alternating EMF or amplitude of thus values. The average value of the alternating voltage during a complete cycle, that is equal time period, is 0, because the average value of sine function or cosine function during complete cycle is always 0. Now find out the mean value of alternating current over is for half cycle. No, this I average is equal to, but integrate that instantaneous current from the limits 0 to t by 2 in terms of the time, then you will get I average over half cycle as a 2 I naught by pi. Similarly, average or mean value of alternating EMF is ERMS, that is E average is equal to 2 E naught by pi. So these are the average values. So we can't find the average values over one complete cycle, so that we have to find the average value, mean value for alternating current and alternating voltage for half cycle. RMS values of voltage and current. RMS means root mean square. Now first of all, find out the average of the instantaneous values of the current or voltages. Then square root of that value gives the root mean square value for the voltage and current. Now mean square of this value of alternating voltage is V0 square by 2, where V0 is the maximum voltage. In terms of EMF, E0 square by 2, where E0 is the maximum value of the applied EMF. Then taking the square root, then ERMS is equal to E0 by root 2. Similarly, for RMS value of alternating current is I0 by root 2. Let an alternating EMF E is equal to E0 sin omega t be applied to a circuit of non-inductive resistance R. I is a current in resistance at any instant t, where E is the instantaneous and E0 is the maximum value of applied alternating voltage. The potential difference across resistance is IR. This must be equal to the applied EMF E. So IR is equal to E is equal to E0 sin omega t. So from this equation, I is equal to E by R, that is equal to E0 sin omega t by R, that is equal to I0 sin omega t, where I0 is the E0 by R, that is the amplitude of the current. From the equations, applied EMF is E is equal to E0 sin omega t, and current through the resistance is I is equal to I0 sin omega t. From the phase of these two equations, EMF and current are in the same phases. Thus, the current and voltage rise and fall simultaneously. That is shown in the figure. Both alternating current and increases or decreases according to the increase and decrease of the applied EMF without any phase difference. In the vector diagram, that is maximum values of the alternating current and alternate EMF are shown. They are making an angle omega t with the x-axis, as omega t is the phase angle. So both are making the same angle. So the current and the voltage of the pure resistor circuits are in the same phase. Now consider a circuit of pure inductor with applied EMF E is equal to E naught sin omega t. When alternating EMF is applied to send alternating current through an inductance of negligible resistance. Since it is varying strength and direction, a back EMF at every instant is produced due to self-inductance, which opposes the rise and fall of current. In order to maintain the flow of current, the applied EMF must be equal opposite to the induced EMF. The applied EMF must be at least equal to this back EMF. So that back EMF is given by L into di by dt, where I is the instantaneous current, L is the inductance of the inductor. So therefore E is equal to L into di by dt, where E is E naught sin omega t, that is applied EMF at any instant, is equal to L into di by dt. So you can write di as a E naught by L into sin omega t. Now integrating on both sides, as equation is di is equal to E naught by omega E naught by L into sin omega t dt, and integrating on both sides, you will get I is equal to E naught by omega L minus cos omega t, as integration of sin omega t is minus cos omega t by omega. Now you can write in the place of E naught by omega L as I naught, I is equal to I naught sin omega t minus pi by 2. Now the instantaneous current through the inductor is given by I is equal to I naught sin omega t minus pi by 2, where I naught is equal to E naught by omega L. Now from the applied EMF E is equal to E naught sin omega t, and its resultant current through inductor is I is equal to I naught sin omega t minus pi by 2. It is clear that the current in the inductance lags behind the applied EMF by 90 degree. You see that the phase of the EMF is omega t and phase of the current through the inductor is omega t minus pi by 2. So this is a phase difference is minus pi by 2. So you can say that the current in the inductance lags behind the applied EMF by pi by 2. Or in other words, you can say that from the graph it is clear that the current in the inductance reaches its maximum value after applied EMF, that is clearly shown in the graphical representation. You see that this E naught value is reaching the maximum value first, then current is reaching its maximum value next. Now here the maximum current to the inductor is given by the maximum value of that equation is I naught, where I naught is equal to E naught by omega L, and this omega L is the resistance, inductive resistance, that is represented by XL is equal to omega L. Omega L is equal to 2 pi f into L, where f is the frequency of the applied EMF. Now you can define the reactance of the inductance. It is the resistance offered by the inductor to the applied EMF is called reactance. Here the reactance of the inductors depends upon the frequency of the applied EMF. Now since the alternating voltage and currents are vector quantities, they can be represented by a vector diagram. Now vectors may be used to represent not only the maximum values of the alternating quantities but also the RMS values. Now the phase difference between the alternating EMF and its resultant alternating current to the inductor is pi by 2, and angles of lead are measured in counterclockwise direction, angles of lag in the clockwise directions, that is shown in the figure. Now let us now consider an ideal capacitor of capacitance C, which is connected to the applied alternating voltage E is equal to E naught sin omega t, that is shown in the figure. At any instant the applied voltage in the circuit is E is equal to E naught sin omega t, that is equivalent to the voltage between the plates of the capacitor. Let Q be the charge on the capacitor plates at any instant of the time. Then current at any instant will be given by I is equal to dq by dt. Now from this, what is potential difference across capacitor plates is E. Then E is equal to Q by C. Q is equal to C into E, where E is the applied EMF. Now I is equal to dq by dt. So I is equal to d by dt C E naught sin omega t. So I is equal to, differentiate that equation. So differentiation will be gives that I is equal to E naught by 1 by omega c into cos omega t. Now you can write this equation as I is equal to I naught sin omega t plus pi by 2. Cos omega t can be converted to sin using the simple equation. Now where I naught is equal to E naught by 1 by omega c, so now the resistance of the capacitor is given by Xc is equal to 1 by omega c, that is the E naught by I naught. The reactance of the capacitor is defined as the maximum potential, it is ratio of the maximum potential difference across the capacitor to the maximum current through the capacitor, that is equal to the 1 by omega c. It is clear from the equations. E is equal to E naught sin omega t, I is equal to I naught sin omega t plus pi by 2. The phase difference between these two is pi by 2. The phase difference between the applied voltage and its a consequent current through it is pi by 2. So we can say that the current through the condenser leads the applied voltage by pi by 2. Now from this graph also it is given the before applied EMF reaches its maximum value, current reaches its maximum value equal to the I naught. I naught is equal to E naught by 1 by omega c. Now power in AC circuit. Let an alternating EMF E is equal to E naught sin omega t is applied to the AC circuits. The resultant current through the AC circuits is I is equal to I naught sin omega t plus pi. where pi is the phase angle between the EMF and current, and E and I are the instantaneous values of the applied EMF and current. Now the power is defined as it is the product of voltage and current. So instantaneous power is equal to E into I. So E naught I naught sin omega t plus pi, and expanding sin omega t plus pi, E naught I naught sin square omega t cos pi plus sin omega t cos pi. If the instantaneous power is assumed to be constant for an infinitesimally small time dt, then work done is, so dw is equal to E naught I naught sin square omega t cos pi plus sin omega t cos pi. Now work done over a complete cycle. So W is equal to 0 to capital T, where capital T is the time period. E naught I naught sin square omega t cos pi plus sin omega t cos pi dt. Now integrating you will get average power over a one complete cycle is E naught I naught cos pi into T by 2. Average power over a cycle P average is equal to W by T. So average power over a cycle is P average is E naught I naught by 2 into cos. Average power P average is equal to ERMS IRMS cos pi. Average power is a 2 watts consumed. ERMS into IRMS is apparent watts. Cos pi is the power factor. So true watts is equal to apparent watts into cos pi. Now consider power in pure resistive circuit. In this case, the current and applied EMF are in phase with each other and given by E is equal to E naught sin omega t and I is equal to I naught sin omega t. This phase difference is 0. P average is equal to ERMS IRMS cos pi. So pi is equal to 0. So cos 0 is equal to 1. P average is equal to ERMS IRMS. Now the power consumed in the resistance or dissipated in the resistance is P average ERMS into IRMS. Now power in purely inductive circuit. In purely inductive circuit, current lags behind EMF by pi by 2. Pi is equal to minus pi by 2. So average power will become 0 as cos pi by 2 is 0. Thus the power in purely inductive circuit is 0. Even though current flowing through it, this current is called wattless current. This is the principle of choke. Now power in AC circuits with C. In the AC circuits with C, current leads EMF by pi by 2. The phase difference between this applied EMF and its resultant alternative current is pi is equal to pi by 2. So P average is equal to ERMS IRMS cos pi by 2. ERMS IRMS multiplied with 0 is becomes 0. So average power with alternative circuit with C is 0. Power is not dissipated inductor and conductor. So inductor and capacitor, hence they find a lot of practical applications in devices using alternating current. Okay, Thank you everyone.